Hello, and thank you everyone for your interest in the Cabarrus County Frank Liske Park Barn public meeting. Thank you for joining us. We want your input. Again, we're here to discuss the Frank Liske Park Barn, which burned down in spring of 2020. We are with C Design. My name is Dean McKenzie, and we also have Paul Krinsky on this call to walk you through where we've been on this in this journey to rebuild the barn, and then also show you some design options that we've come up with that are still in the preliminary design phase. We are working through concepts, and it's your time to provide some input and give us some feedback. Before we begin, want to reinforce that there is an online survey. We are dependent on getting your feedback. If you do not provide your feedback, we won't know what you want. Please fill that information out. We do read it, and it does go to the county commissioners. Your recommendations are very important. With that being said, I want to start off by at least giving a backstory on where we started with this process. The barn burned down in March. We have since been hired, C Design has been hired, and our consultants by Cabarrus County to redesign this barn and create an event space for the 21st century. We have, in our early meetings, C Design and our consultants met with Cabarrus County and key stakeholders and identified goals and visions for this project. There was a lot of great feedback for that, but one of the main things that came out of that is everyone has a deep connection to this barn. It was an icon for Frank Liske Park, and people hold it dear to their hearts. A lot of people want to rebuild this and keep the same character, but bring it into the 21st century as far as accessibility and the different amenities within the space. So we first walked through and identified our goals and vision. We then talked with the public. We had a public survey that was sent out virtually that we got over 650 responses back. So a great turnout with that. Got a lot of great feedback. A lot of it was in line with our original goals and vision. We heard from you what you loved about the park, what will make you want to rent it in the future. And that really led us to the next phases where we looked at multiple sites across Frank Liske Park for this event space to where to put the barn. We ended up deciding that the best location would be right at its current location, slightly modified. Then we went through design concepts. We investigated and reviewed over 9 design concepts that were developed during this period. We looked at different building forms. We looked at different orientation on the site. We wanted to make sure that we did our due diligence for this. So what you will see today are 2 of those design concepts. They are fairly similar, but they do have some key differences. So at what you're seeing right now on this schedule is we're at item number 5 of public meetings. We had a public meeting in person on November 14th at Frank Liske Park, and this is the virtual meeting. So we're trying to get as much involvement as possible. Again, please fill out your survey after the fact. Once we get your input today, we'll review that. There'll be a commissioners meeting, and then we will receive pre-design approval. Again, this is a concept phase. This does not mean that everything is final. We're waiting on feedback, and then we can go into the design phases. So what you're about to see are the two design options. We have design option A and design option B. Both, again, are fairly similar. You're seeing on this page two floor plans, a first and second floor, a site aerial perspective to really give you an idea of the building form, and then a site plan in the lower center portion of your screen right there. This is probably the best way to orient everyone. Everyone who's familiar with this building knows where the current building is on the top of the hill, kind of right above where disc golf is, and on the other side of parking. So is generally in the same location. Both options that you're seeing are going to be within this general area with some minor tweaks. So a couple very high level things about these designs. One is each option has 2 floors of indoor rentable space. All of this enclosed space on both floors is conditioned. So one of the things that we heard was we want conditioned space. It gives us more flexibility. How do we incorporate that flexibility? We've added a lobby space that would also be conditioned, and this gives you the flexibility to move between floors without interrupting the operations of either floor. So this whole facility could be rented out and could be connected, or the second and first floor could be rented out separately, but it would not disturb either area. Another key piece that we heard was we love the look of the existing barn. We wanted to respect that character and kind of embrace the look of that. So if you look at each of these perspectives, you see that gambrel roof form that's iconic to this building that you'll see on both sides. Now, some differences would be the amount of glazing that you see. We're allowing more natural light into this space and views out. This is a beautiful area. You have a ton of trees providing shade and a tree canopy. That's just wonderful. So we want to take advantage of that. On either side.
Dean, I was also going to add that just to point out that this facility was originally built as a dairy barn, and so the natural, while it was a great rustic quality on the inside, we wanted to make sure that when we rebuild this as an assembly building, that we're truly doing the interior justice and making sure that the lighting, the natural lighting is great for these assembly spaces.
Absolutely. So a couple other things to note about this. South of the barn, we are adding what we're calling an outdoor activity space, which would be flexible for multiple uses. Could be overflow of the rentable spaces on the first floor. It could be used by the volleyball courts or people on the playground. There's a lot of amenity space around there. Could be used for future food truck events. There's a number of different things that we could do that. So it's open, programmable outdoor space. So Paul will walk you through these two options, but a couple of differences between these two options. One would be the location of the public exterior toilets. One option, it's connected to the building, and then on another option, it's separated from this building as a standalone.
I'm going to go ahead and flip to the second option just so that they can see that difference there.
So if you're looking where the cursor is, item number 6 is that standalone toilet facility. So we have that as one difference. The other difference is whether to incorporate the silo or not. We have heard that that silo is iconic. It'd be great to incorporate that in some way. It does kind of call attention to where the entry of the building could be. What we didn't want to do was to design a building in a silo just for silo's sake. It needed to be functional. It needed to have a use. So what you're seeing in front of you, that silo is actually operating as the elevator tower. Because we are upgrading this to today's code and accessibility, we have an elevator that's been added to this building. It also gives you flexibility for many uses. But Paul, do you want to, those are the two main differences, as well as the lookout balcony. But you want to just walk through the other?
Sure. So, I mean, we should point out that in either case, in either of these options, we're providing all of the same amenities, including the elevator, which Dean just talked about. We'll have an elevator. It's required for accessibility to the second floor, but it's really a question of whether it's in the silo, which we saw in option B, or it's part of the interior of the building in option A. Some of the other things that we're including in both, just to point out that from the existing facility, we're actually adding 3,500 square feet. We're providing more storage. We're providing a lobby, which Dean touched on, to add privacy for the renters. There'll be a kitchen on both floors and toilets on both floors. But again, the key difference being how we treat the elevator in option A and B, and then also how the public toilets are treated. So again, you can see in option B here that it's a separate building, whereas in option A, it's actually part of one of the sheds. So the thought was that either we could have this all together as one facility, or we can provide a little bit more privacy to the renters by separating out the public toilet building, which you can see here. Also, we'll be providing a full sprinkler system to the building. We'll be providing air conditioning on the first and second floor, and we'll provide fans in the exterior sheds, all those things being upgrades from the previous facility.
So to recap with where we are, the difference, again, you're choosing between two design options. Option A, which does not have a silo, that the elevator is moved on the interior, and then the public toilets are attached to one of the exterior rentable sheds. The second option, design option B, has a silo that serves as the elevator, and the public toilets have been moved south right next to the outdoor activity space. So please fill out the survey that should be included in this information, and let us know what you think.
And I would also just encourage everyone to make any comments about what they just feel really strongly about. I know during our public meeting over the weekend, someone felt the green roof was really important. So those are the types of things that we want to hear from you, things that you want to see in this facility, and we would just love to get your feedback. So thank you.